You gorgeous, gorgeous darlings. It is me, the Bee, and welcome back to another review. Today I'm going to make it a quickie, grow up, by looking at The Call of Cthulhu, made in 2005, directed by Andrew Lehman, with a very modest budget of $50,000. Now, this film originally premiered at the Slam Dance Film Festival in 2006, and in the same year at the Seattle International Film Festival. But, yeah, let's get into it. The Call of Cthulhu is one of H.P. Lovecraft's most seminal works, and I'm not going to go far into that at all because I've already done a Lovecraft video. But this happens to be one of his most popular stories. And when Lehman sort of came forward with this film, I was instantly impressed by how faithful it was to the source material. Now, that's not to say it is right to the letter, because it does make quite a few major changes, but for the record, I don't think they impede the film whatsoever. So, the very general gist of this story is as follows. So you have a guy and one of his relatives has passed away. Now, what is so strange about this is that it is somehow connected to the Cult of Cthulhu. And the Cult of Cthulhu is like a very sort of, you know, down low, underground sort of organization, and this person, and unwisely of course, because this is a Lovecraft story, he wants to find out more about the Cult of Cthulhu and what Cthulhu is. And as you can probably guess, things don't work out quite so well. Alright, so one of the major standouts about this film is how it looks. It was made to resemble a 1920s silent film. And the reason why it sort of strikes that visual chord so well is that Lehman very wisely decided to pay attention more to light and shadow and shape as opposed to intimate detail. Now, that could have also been because of the fact that it was a very sort of small budget and he couldn't afford to sort of pull it too far. But when you think about actual silent movies made way back in the past, that is exactly the technique they used. They would make all these strange-looking, sort of dynamic-looking sets, but the camera didn't focus on, you know, the smaller details and, you know, the more, like I said, intimate details of the set. What it would do, it was that it would frame the how these things look on the outside. And when you're dealing with Lovecraft, you know about, you know, how the buildings are made, and they're not supposed to look right. And in this film, and how this world is shaped, that is how it looks. It looks strange, it looks otherworldly, it looks menacing. And just seeing it in black and white and sort of hyper-stylized, it looks so damn good. I also have to give huge props for the practical effects in this movie. It's not especially effects-driven, but towards the end of the film, when big old Cthulhu sort of shows himself, it is intentionally made to look like stop motion, because that's what it is. And stop motion is pretty much an all but truly dead art form. And some people may complain that it doesn't look realistic and blah blah blah. Well, here's the thing. Nothing about H.P. Lovecraft's work is supposed to look normal. It has to look strange. It has to make you think, what the hell is that? And that is... everything about this film sort of nails that notion of the silent movie. So let's just talk about the very, you know, basic changes made here. Well, the Cult of Cthulhu is one of the driving forces of the book. They tend to show up basically everywhere and ruin everything for everybody. And even though they are still very present in this film, they don't show up as much. And I feel the reason why was mainly because Lehman wanted to favour a slower burn. He didn't want to rely too much on the on how sensationalistic the cult was. And also probably because of the fact of the budget. I mean, who knows? But like I said, this was $50,000 well spent, and when you're making a short film based on you know, a work done by H.P. Lovecraft, you really have to have an idea about the economy of what you're trying to make here. The movie is only about 47 minutes long, okay? So just basically under an hour. But the way I figure it, when you're drawn in by the visuals and just the competence of the filmmaking, you tend to forget that you're sort of, you know, you're a contemporary audience member watching an old-style movie. Sometimes that sort of separation causes a disparity between the two, but if you are willing to sit down and watch this film and be taken in by, quite frankly, this marvellous effort made by everybody involved, you know, it's a very rewarding experience. And may I also say the conclusion of this movie is pretty much as I remember reading it. So if you were to recommend this film to anybody who is sort of getting into Lovecraft, please do. I think this has to be one of the best H.P. Lovecraft movies, and not just H.P. Lovecraft inspired, but H.P. Lovecraft based. Really, really good. So I give it a 5 out of 5, solid 5 out of 5, and I do highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's nice and free on YouTube, so have at it. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble, guys, and as usual, I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.